Burkhalter, and we are Go Shop Local.
The purpose of our group is to connect small business owners with the Las Vegas locals while creating a network of like-minded professionals to share strategies and support within an online community.
Our mission is to encourage you to get out and go shop local. Hey, Go Shop Local. I'm Maxine Ross, and I am here with Ben Burkhalter. And today we are here with Cherry Fen of Baby University. Hey, Cherry, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, so Cherry is the director of Baby University. Cherry, why don't you tell us a little bit about your position and what you do at Baby University, maybe a little bit about Baby University as well.
Okay. So my name is Cherry Fen, and then I'm the director of Baby University and NCA. My main duty for my daily operation is to supervising the kids, making sure they learn from what our expectations, making sure the school operating in a nice way, smooth ways, and the parents are happy.
Love it. And Baby University is a private school in town. It's a bilingual school in town that serves preschool to grade 12, correct?
Yes, it's preschool as young as 1 year old to all the way up to grade 12. And our unique parts, not just the bilingual education, but also the math and logical and science curriculums for our students' daily activities.
Perfect.
The most unique part of our school is we are very diverse because we have a great population that is from all over the world. They are from all different backgrounds that we trying to integrating the different culture in the curriculum because we want the kids to understanding you're not only in one perspective of your view. It's actually the whole world. People are living in a world that they have different perspective, they have different culture, but we can still be friends. We can be very peaceful and friendly and kind to each other.
That's a great, beautiful message for the young minds because they've, the poor kids and and I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas. So I've gone through the education system out here and I know it's unfortunately only getting, worse and just some of the, different struggles that we have to deal with. So it's nice and refreshing to still have, avenues for children to learn the proper way. And, it's still a priority where, our own government doesn't even take our education that serious. It's unfortunate.
Yes, exactly. So another message I want to deliver is the reason why we base our school in Las Vegas, Nevada, is because Nevada has always been rated as the least best of their education. But we want the kids to understand it's not their fault. It's actually the whole environment. So we want to give them the best education. And we also plan to send them for like competitions or even international trip study to make them to explore different things and then learn different things. The reason is because we don't want them to pass a prejudged and thinking, oh, I was raised and born here in Nevada, so my education will be behind than others or worse than others. I want them to feel like you're unique, you're best, you are the best of yourself, and you can do whatever you can if you make an effort in it. So that's why we set high expectation on them. We integrated a lot of different curriculum, not just USA, but also we integrated Germans, Japan, Singapore's, and Asians, a lot of the Asian math, and then logic, coding, and things to make them to view you're not just in Las Vegas, you're in the world, and you can learn as much as you can if you make an effort in it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
So how did Baby University and NCA become, like, how did it all start? I saw that it started in, was it 1996, 24 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us the beginning.
Let's say, so the beginning part is mainly is serving Asian community because as you know, the long history is Asian family, one that kids always good at math. So example is we learned multiplication table when we were 5 years old. And that's something that we have to learn at that age because they think math has to born with it. And as long as you practice it, you know how to do it. And that's a really important subject, like a lot of things, right? But here, when the parents find out they don't learn multiplication, maybe like second grade or third grade, right? So they start thinking, why not we lay out a good foundation for our kids when they're young? So the first important step for them is they start learning math as young as 2 years old. So math is a subject already in a preschool curriculum as young as when they come to the school. But that time is mainly Asian family. But later on, more and more family from other backgrounds, they start thinking like, why I just sending a kids to a preschool that just play all day, right? If they have the time there, if they have the energy there, and if their brain are ready there, why can't they learn a second language and more about logic or math or something like using more thinking skills? So that's why we have expanded. We always have a long waiting list because more and more parents start thinking about actually young kids can learn more than we think, and they have more capability than we think. They just playing a sense, playing water, playing the Play-Dohs. They can do more than that. So that's why we're integrating ballet class, piano class, painting class, canvas painting, or like even computer coding as young as 5 years old. And it turned out amazing is those kids can actually do something without a lot of the interventions from parents or teacher. So they have the capability. It's just we need to give them time and opportunity to work on it. So that's why the Baby University come. The name is when the baby, we look at them when they come into the university. It's a very structured learning instead of just playing or doing nothing throughout the day, or we actually give them some courses they need to work on. Although those courses are very structured, they are still play-based, but it's a very structured play-based. And it have a lot of theory and then themes behind each of them. So that's why we call Baby University.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then NCA actually stands for Noble Collegiate Academy. So similar. Yeah. So Noble is actually can spell in two ways. So Noble, one is Noble, one is Nobel, right? One is Nobel Prize, and one is Noble, which is like elegance. So we're not only teaching them from academic side, we also teach them how to respect others, how to public speaking, how to be in a group to do group projects, things like that. And then for Noble is we want them to set a goal for them. For example, you can win a Nobel Prize for being peace, right? You can learn a Nobel Prize by scientific, chemistry, and things like that. We also set a goal for them too. So that's why we call NCA, stand for Noble Collegiate Academy.
No, it sounds like you guys kind of are more than just the traditional school. You kind of, take the young impressionable mind and kind of give them the right tools and the right structures to kind of build. So that's great. It's so, so refreshing and so nice that, we still have a good education system here in Las Vegas. So you kind of were talking about the waiting list. So for any viewers that are kind of, we're going to, post your information about the school, and we always kind of make sure we have all of the, material available for, our Go Shop Local customers that are kind of curious about your schooling. But you did mention, waiting lists and stuff like that. So I know with, everything with the schooling systems and everything, what can somebody that's looking to maybe bring their child into, your program, how long is a wait are we looking for? Is it, do they have to get on a list, or, how, because it sounds like you would have a high demand for that, the way that the learning's kind of gone right now.
Yeah, it depends on the age group. So for the younger class, it's a little bit longer, but that's all before COVID. And then now, because it's COVID, the registration list is shorter because more parents choose to stay at home with their afraid of the COVID, and also because we are opening more campus. So right now the waiting list is not long. So I would say maybe about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, before it's pretty like 2 months to 6 months. It depends because before we only have one campus. And this year and last year we increased to 4 campuses. That's why we can make sure that the kids who want this education, we can provide it to them. Another message we want to deliver is we want to raise the awareness of early child education as well. We think that early childhood education is not just for the kids to enjoy some of the like nice and play times in school. It's also very important for parents to learn, kids to learn, and also it's very important. And we noticed that a lot of parents just give them iPad or YouTube videos or something to just babysitting their kids, so saving those money for other things. But we do think that this is a very important investment to invest in your child's early education because it lays a very good foundations for their future learning and their thinking skills and their logical skill as well.
For sure. I saw that it's described as a bilingual school. So is it a specific language? Is it any language, multiple languages? I was telling Ben that I would love for my child, if I ever had one, to be bilingual. But there's so many different languages to choose from. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so actually bilingual, so our main language for the second languages is Chinese, is Mandarin. We choose Mandarin is because first, Mandarin is most used right now except for Spanish, right? They're more and more popular. And we do want to give the kids, because Asian culture and Asian culture, like Eastern culture and Western culture has a lot of different. So we use Asian language like Chinese as a bridge to connect these two languages and the culture. So the kids not only just learning a language, they're actually exploring another part of the world. And then the good thing is because both country and both educational system, they have good and bad, right? So we try to take out as much as good parts from two different culture and integrate it together. And the most important message I want to deliver to the parent is when we talk about bilingual education, language is only a small element behind it. This is actually a very scientific-based proof research way to cultivate a kid's brain. So you don't have to learn Mandarin, as any other language is fine. But being a bilingual kid can actually be smarter. That's the simplest equation. The reason is the brains, when they were young, they have a lot of brain cells, right? And then the more they getting like language, right? They can be trilingual. They can be 4 different language. It just helps them to stimulate their brain cells and connect it. So the research find out that the bilingual kids naturally perform better than single language kids because they think more, they take more, and they have 2 ways perceptions. That's why we using bilingual education as a teaching method to make the kids smarter.
And I remember learning that in college too. I went to business school and I remember them suggesting and talking about how Mandarin in business was going to be a really big language. So statistically, people that are bilingual in English and in Mandarin get paid significantly higher salaries than those that aren't. So I love hearing that it's Mandarin because that's what I thought it was too. You know?
Yes, it is. Yeah. We also encourage the parents, if you speak French at home, speak Spanish at home, speak some other language at home, keep that home language. Because from what our experience, we have been doing this for like more than 20 years. Kids can able to do 3 languages simultaneously. Like my daughter, she speaks Cantonese only at home. So Cantonese is a totally different dialect from Mandarin. And she speaks like fluently Cantonese at home. And now she's learning Mandarin and English at school. But she never messed up them. So she knows what language I use to talk to who when based on what they're talking about. So that is actually a very amazing way. And the trick is the younger, the better. If a kid is 10 years old and started learning a second language, it's harder than a 2 years old doing that. If they are starting at the same pace, you will see after 1 year, the 2 years old actually learning much, much more than the 10 years old. So that's a very magical part for young kids who are doing 2 languages or 3 language learning because their brain is just ready for that.
you're feeding their brain with the food,
Yes,
the food that it's looking for. So yeah, no,
yes,
I always say
exactly.
the young minds are very impressionable, and
Yes.
to your what you're saying is, yeah, they just, it's like a big sponge that soaks up everything. So
Yes.
very
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, with one of the earlier, you were kind of, you had brought it up, and I know that we're still kind of in the midst of it, but the COVID and the pandemic. As far as your learning and as far as your schooling, is everything based at the school? Do you have e-learning incorporated it with it, or
Mm-hmm.
how does your module, as far as with the COVID-19, and how have you guys kind
Mm-hmm.
of had to adapt to that?
Yes, so a lot of the cleaning, a lot of sanitizing, a lot of the teaching, like hand washing skills, mask wearing skills, social distance skill has been integrated in the curriculum as well. And this is for in-person learning kids. So for the kids who has to stay home or parents still hesitate sending back their kids, we do have e-learning. And every day we update what they learned in school in either lesson plans or videos for parents to see it at home doing the remote learning, even for preschool. So I remember when we're school with very low enrollment because everybody has to stay at home during those like March to June, we actually open live story time every day with the teacher, with this group like 10 students, and then same age group, and then the teacher actually doing the story time with all the different kids, because we believe that the kids cannot pause their learning because of the COVID around them, because they need social emotional interactions and they need live interactions. So that's why we have been facilitating their e-learning. We don't like the way that how we just post a video and then they look at it and then they do the work. We actually do a lot of live interaction with them.
Sure. Do you feel like because of everything that's going on with COVID-19 and all the e-learning, do you feel like the students are not the students of Baby University necessarily, but the students in the public school systems?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that they're getting the same quality of learning, or how do you feel about that type of situation and how education is going to be affected by all of this and by 2020?
Yeah, education. I think education has been greatly affected by the whole situation. E-learning, I would say, is not bad. It's just not getting all the full aesthetic of the in-person learning. Because when kids learn, not just learning from a teacher, they're learning from the peers. And they're learning from dealing with conflict, dealing with challenge, dealing with daily situation every day, right? But if only e-learning, yes, we're able to deliver a lot of message, like how to do this math problem, 1 + 1 = 2, through camera. But we're not able to teach them how to deal with a kids that you don't want to play with them, but how you solve this conflict. And how do you cooperate with other kids to do in a group project, things like that. So I always say that academic-wise, I would think e-learning can facilitate it, but social emotional wise not. And also depends on the kid's age. I would say e-learning is really good for middle school and above. But for elementary school and preschool, they learn a lot from peers and like peer interaction. And that's the most important part to make them become a whole child. So I think that part affects mainly on the early age kids from 0 to 8, I think.
And I think that's a really interesting way to look at it too, from because people always forget about the interactions. And I'm a dog person, so like I always think of it as like you have to socialize your dog, or when it grows up, it's not good with other dogs, or it's not good with people. Like it's kind of the same way with like children, like that socio and like the interactions are really, really important. And it's difficult right now when we're kind of being isolated by everything. I mean, even adults too being isolated because of the coronavirus.
Yes, we see some kids they stay at home for 5 and 6 days, not days like months, and then come back to school. Academic wise, they may not be getting too behind, but we see that for the language, they forget how to use language to solve problem, so they use actions. And then we see them when they're facing challenge, they tend to walk away or to avoid them instead of facing it and solving, like go to ask the teacher or go to ask your peers and things like that. So that part, we think we need more interventions when everybody is going back to school. We can foresee that many problem will happening. So I would suggest that maybe psychology or school counseling need to take more closer attention to those conflicts if everybody coming back to in-person learning, because they lacked practice during those few months for not being a lot of interaction with others.
No, it's great. You're growing the children to be, young, successful adults, and people don't understand that the interaction and the socializing is a huge part of a child and growing up. So it's sad that that they are missing out on these opportunities, and hopefully we get a handle on this. And thank you for it's different to hear a different way of educating and going through the system out here and looking at it such a positive, uplifting way to kind of get a hold of our school systems and the unfortunates, because you guys seem like you're there for the love of the children and watching these minds kind of grow. And I guess I'm probably guessing that's probably the reward for you, is watching these children kind of grow and have the ultimate experience and the ultimate opportunities to be whatever they want. That's what we've always said. You can be whatever you want, but we have to give them the tools to be able to be that astronaut, to be that baseball player, so that's
exactly
very refreshing.
Thank you so much.
I'm interested in do you so where do you guys see, at least in Nevada, like test score wise, any type of statistics of anything like that, how do you guys see your students performing compared to maybe other students in Nevada or even in the United States? If you have any of those numbers or have an idea of any of that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think we are way beyond them for average Nevada students. And then I would say we are probably the top. I don't have the statistics with me, but we do have that backup us too. The reason why is because we're actually teaching second grade curriculum for our kindergartner. So our kindergartner actually using second grade curriculum. And our preschooler, which is 3 years old, is actually doing kindergarten's curriculum. So we are always 2 years advanced. So when we're taking their grade levels testing, they're always way beyond their expectations from other states and Nevada.
Wow, that's amazing. And just to kind of finish up everything, just go over the enrollment process. Like if I wanted to enroll my child into Baby University, what do I have to do? Who do I have to talk to? Just so then the parents out there can, maybe think about it, use it as an option. I mean, now's a good time to advertise a new school, so.
Yes. So the best part is go to our website. Yeah, you probably have gone through our websites too, right? So know about our school and then trying to think, oh, maybe this is I want to try and know more about and then schedule a in-person tour or in-person consulting, because we trying to make sure the parents are understanding our school's philosophy, and also we want to make sure the parents are on the same page with us together to raise the kids to what they want and what we want, so we have the same path. So the first step is going to the website, schedule an appointment, and we are always doing an in-person live interaction, either through the Zoom or they are invited to the campus, and we will have a one-on-one meetings with them, with the parents. It's more individualized. We understand the needs from the parents, and we understand the basic for the children, so we know what is the best for the children.
Wow, that's awesome. This has been so interesting. I had no idea that this was even an option out here. So that's amazing. I'm glad that we get to show it to some Nevada parents, some Las Vegas parents, and hopefully people will take advantage of it. I have all your information in the show notes. So if anybody is interested in looking at Baby University, NCA, just take a look at the show notes there and then contact Cherry.
Yes, and then also I want you to add that because we also get some grants from their governments and also some sponsorship, so that if they need help to pay the childcare, don't because of the money to give up the good quality applications. We have different grants and scholarship programs for supports kids who are coming from low-income family or the family has been affected by the COVID, because we don't want the kids to be got affected by adult world, like adult situation. We want the kids, if they have the potential, if they have the capability, we just there to try to help them.
Beautiful message.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing, Cherry. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching the interview, guys. Be sure to like the group and subscribe to learn more about small businesses like Baby University. And remember to get out and go shop local.